Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning I want to talk to you about this month's theme, which is debt. So let's jump right into it. So the theme of this month is debt. It's not something that most people are super excited to jump right into, but I believe that this is the elephant in the room for many people. And I started out this series focusing first and foremost on the importance of building a plan to spend. And I started out with that theming, with that focus, because I wanted you to be intentional about building a plan to spend, and then understand within the framework of that how much of your spending actually goes to pay down debt, actually goes to pay for things that you have loans on. So as we get into this topic, this is an aspect I broke down into shorter series that have to do with unsecured debt specifically. In future series, we're going to focus in on student loans and household debt, like a home equity line of credit, auto loans, as well as mortgages. But for this one specifically, we're going to focus in on unsecured debt. So most of us are accustomed to having some form of debt in our lives. And when I was looking at the data related to this, it was shocking to me. It was shocking to me that when I look at the number of people, that the percentage of the population that is in debt, it closely mirrors that of the population who could not afford to have an emergency of $1,000 or more without going into debt. And the numbers were sobering because almost 80% of the population has debt of some kind. And so that means that this topic is something that is on the forefront of the minds of 8 out of 10 people. So in this theme, I really wanted to jump into debt as a theme from the standpoint of our nation, going into the debt associated to household debt, and then further into credit, establishing credit, as well as credit cards and personal loans. So this theme is really focused on the unsecured loans that you have in your personal finances. So coming from a season of Christmas and New Year's into this brand new month, I believe that people are trying to figure out how to get in shape, how to slim down, maybe even bulk up, how to get their finances in order after all. How to muster up the courage to finally, ask that special person out. They're trying to look at ways to revamp their lives through resolutions, through goals for the, for this new year. And so with that, I believe that debt is a massive issue in our culture. And I believe it's one of those aspects that needs to be addressed first as the first theme of the year, especially unsecured debt that has a tendency of having a lot higher percentage points associated to that debt. So there's an article recently written by CNBC that was pulling data from Experian and a poll that was done by them that found that 8 out of 10 people were making financial resolutions around credit and debt. The other two aspects had to do with budgeting, which we started this series with, and saving. So I believe people are concerned about their credit, concerned about their debt, and concerned about how to manage it well. So I believe the credit industry is a tricky one. Everyone has and monitors to some extent their credit score, at least when they go to get a new loan. But in order to get that initial loan, oftentimes you have to have credit in order to get a loan, in order to build credit, in order to show that you're responsible with that debt, and in order to have that credit score so that you can continue to add credit lines to that. And it's tricky because it is one of those aspects where it's a vicious cycle. It's one of those aspects where when credit agencies are looking at you in particular, they're looking at your credit worthiness. They're looking at what the likelihood from a statistical standpoint is of you repaying the debt that you're taking out. So institutions look at your credit worthiness by looking at 5 key components. And these 5 key components basically churn out a specific credit score that tells them whether you are qualified to purchase or to be extended credit to purchase whatever you're trying to purchase. And so with that, they're looking at key components related to the length of your credit history. They're looking at the number of new accounts and the age of those accounts. They're looking at the history of the accounts that you have and the duration of time you've had those. They're looking at the payment history of these different lines of credit. And then also they're looking at the amount of utilization, how much you have utilized the credit that has been extended to you. So is it just me, or is this system set up in order to keep us in debt? It seems like as you look at those 5 key components of your credit history or your payment history or your utilization or whatever it is, it's focused in on managing debt well versus managing money well. And so when you're looking at this, your credit score, yes, it may be important. It may be important for you to qualify for a home or for a certain position you're trying to get into or whatnot. It may be important for a number of those aspects, but just because you have a good credit score doesn't mean you actually manage your money well. So my call to action today is to use your bank, your credit card, or a third party to pull your credit score and to know where you stand, to be able to look at your debt going into this theme, and that credit bureau, that information provided by the credit bureaus will be able to provide you with an idea of what is being reported on your behalf in regards to your debt. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.